Hey Freedom Family, this is Mark, and I'm so glad you're here with us today. If this is the first time you've come to our channel, _Freedom for Life _, man, we are glad that you are here. We're here for a purpose, and our purpose is to give you the tools, the truths, and the knowledge to take you from where you're at right now to where you're called and created to be. Whether that's physically, spiritually, emotionally, relationally, or vocationally, there's truths that are universal that can help you in every area of your life. So wherever you're at, whatever you're tackling in your life, we want to be a part of that journey and give you those tools, those truths, and that knowledge. But man, I want to let you know this. I am excited that you're here today because we're going to tackle this question, life after lockdown, how to conquer the fear as we move forward. So man, if you're part of the community, would you subscribe? Would you do me a favor also and hit that like button? Let us know that this content is something that resonates, that's bringing value to you. And don't forget to hit the notification so you can be a part of everything that we're doing as we're growing in this freedom journey and walking forward as a community. But in this title and in this opportunity that we have to talk today, life after lockdown, I just want to tell you this. We're going to give you 3 tools today, 3 tools to take you from where you're at into this future, this new normal that we have. So let's get started, shall we? I don't know where you're at as you're watching this video. For me, I'm in California in the United States, and I know a good part of our audience, our communities there, but our communities also throughout the world. So wherever you're out, you're probably in some sort of stage of returning to work, returning to life, returning to this new normal that we're talking about. But there's challenges that come along with it. There's actually this F word, and the word is fear. For a lot of us, there's this fear that comes alongside it because there's so much that we really don't know as we're moving forward. And sometimes this thing that we're carrying this weight, and in fact, I'd even ask you this question: what weight are you carrying out of the house with you? For many of us, we're going back to work and we're trying to figure out what that looks like. And there's this anxiousness that comes along with it. This anxiousness that says, hey, what's it going to look like? What's going to happen during this time? And is it going to be safe to do that? It's this fear, this understanding of, hey, am I safe? Is it safe to be out there and doing that? Am I exposing my family, my friends to something that maybe I don't want to? Am I exposing myself to it? There's this worry, this regret maybe, because we've had this time at home, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, however long that you've been there, and maybe you have this regret of, I really regret that closeness that I got to the people that I care about. Now I'm going to have to return to life as normal, or maybe it's a regret of, man, there was so much time I could have done something instead of Netflix my way into oblivion. But maybe I want to move forward and figure out what to do in this place. For some of us, I know this, there's a loss. Maybe we've lost a job, or our spouse or family members lost a job, and there's this feeling of loss and regret. For some of us, we've lost a loved one, and I would be the first to tell you I'm so sorry for where you're at in that. I remember for myself, just to get personal and vulnerable in front of you, I have a younger daughter, she's 21 at this point, but before we had my daughter, we actually were expecting twins and lost our children. Within this past year, I've actually had my father pass away as well as a sister. So if you're somebody who's experienced loss of somebody that you've cared about and you're trying to figure out what does normal look like in that context, I'm here for you, I'm here with you. I understand specifically and personally what you've gone through. And so there's all of these levels of wrestling with emotions and challenges and things that are going on. And I just need to let you know this. First and foremost, a statistic is not a death sentence. We'll get into that when we're talking about our next section, but what I want you to know is this: you don't need to live with fear in moving forward. Fear is not necessarily what is going to be basing your truth on. what you're going to be basing your life on if you want to live a life that's healthy and well. the thing I need to let you know, and the first tool I want to give you is this: understand what the truth is. In my life, sometimes I build up the opportunity for issues and challenges and struggles and bad outcomes at such a level that sometimes my fear is overwhelming the truth of what the reality of the situation is. Maybe you're there as well. The reality of walking out the door isn't as bad as my anticipation of the bad that might happen on the other side of it. So the first tool I need to give you is this: it's the tool of truth. What's the truth? And to let you know that truth isn't subjective, it's actually an objective understanding of what's going on. So what's the truth of the situation as we walk forward? We know what the unknowns are. We're told them every day. We know what the statistics are because we've been told them over and over again with every broadcast. But what's the truth in your life as you walk forward? Is the grocery store a safe place to be, or is it a place where you might be sick? Is your work a place where you can go and contribute and move forward in your life, or is it just another opportunity to potentially be in quarantine? The truth is so much more bright than the worry that we're bringing into it. So what's the truth in your situation? The second thing that's walking out the door with us is this maybe perspective. And what I'm going to say is this: there's always these what ifs that happen, right? When we don't know things, and maybe you're not like me, but in my life, sometimes if I don't know the answer to something, I'll make one up just to make my life feel better. Or at least let me know that I've had some sort of control. And so when walking out the door, there's all these what ifs. What if this happens, and what if that happens, and what's going to happen next month, and what's going to happen in the fall, and all of these things. It's a shift of perspective that you need to have, a truth of where you're really at. And I know that we have all these news reports, and it's always good to hear what's going on, but sometimes all we're hearing is everything that's going wrong. All we're hearing are the cases where people are catching a virus versus the vast majority of cases where people aren't. And there is this assuredness of uncertainty that's been given to us that tells us that we don't know what's going to happen, therefore we should fear what's going to happen. And I'm going to give you this question. It's, what do I know? Not what do I know because of what the news broadcasts tell me. Not what do I know because I'm listening to all this stuff that's telling me that it's horrible and it's devastating and it's going to destroy everybody's lives. But what's the truth that I know that I can walk out? I know I'm healthy today. I know I have a family who's healthy as well. I know that there's opportunity and advancement and challenges along with it. But there's an opportunity to receive things that I wouldn't have received if I hadn't been in my home. There's an opportunity to walk forward in ways that might bring well-being and peace to people around me. There's a knowledge that no matter how challenging this coronavirus is, if I look at it in the perspective of all the things that are potentially going to cause issue and illness and challenge and death, to be totally honest, it's minute in comparison. And while I know that car accidents can happen and I could pass away because of a car accident, that doesn't stop me from driving to the store, to the work, to the beach. What do you know? And my advice to you is this: ignore the hype and the noise. Sometimes fear and anxiety is like a wave on the beach, and people continue to contribute to that and let it pull them alongside. Where the truth and the knowledge that we have should be like a surfer on top of the wave, understanding where it's at, but not allowing it to overtake him. Maybe that's the same as us, that our perspective should be one that knows what's going on. And in that place, not being drowned by the wave of fear and anxiety that's around us. The uncertainty and the things that feed into that. But walking in the knowledge of I know where safety's at. I know where health and well-being are at. I know that things are moving forward. And speaking of moving forward, the third thing I would give you in perspective and desire for you to walk into is this, knowing what the future is. In my life, I don't know in yours, but in my life, what I find is this, that I tend to focus on the right now. What's in front of me right now, what's happening right now, the thing that's going, the challenge I'm going through, the struggles I'm in, the victories I'm having, whatever it is. But the truth of the matter is your life is more than what's happening right now. There's an old phrase, it's an incorrect phrase, as you find out. But the phrase is this, it's always darkest before the dawn. While, in astronomy sense, that is not true. It's not darkest before the dawn. But what is true in our relationships and our life, and maybe the challenge of going through a quarantine and this result thereof is this. It's dark before you know what is going to happen. It's dark before you understand the truth. It's dark before things start to turn around and start to get better. My challenge in my life is not focusing on the darkness, but focusing on the light that's to come. And in this time of walking out what it looks like to return, right? The life that we're living after everything has been shut down, the quarantine that's happened and the stay-at-home orders, is this, what does my life look like next? Not really what does my life look like now, although you want to deal with the emotions in the moment, right? But you got to know this, that your story is bigger than a virus. Your story is bigger than a quarantine or a stay-at-home order. Your life is bigger than this moment. There's more that's going to happen than what's going on right now. And in order for you to live the life that you're called and created to, you need to live a life where you don't let your emotions control your decisions and your directions. Your story is bigger than that. And to be able to have a perspective and understanding beyond right now so that you understand that my life isn't in this moment, whether I'm dealing with loss, which again, from a personal and vulnerable standpoint, I understand where you're at and how heart-crushing it can be at times. But your pain won't last forever, even though the memories do. I remember for my daughters and for my father and for my sister, the pain certainly lasts and it's a vivid memory, but the memories of who they are and the desire and the delight to know them last for my lifetime. If you're at a place where you're not necessarily knowing where your job's going to be at, or if you're even going to have one, there are more things out there for you than this. If you have a life that's beyond where you're at right now, a life that you're called to and created for, you're certainly created for more than just this moment. And just as a perspective and understanding, and this understanding of looking towards the future, you need to understand this. You don't need to listen to the voices in your head. I remember counseling with a person who was dealing with some challenges and struggles during this time, and I told him this. I said, hey, you don't have to listen to those voices in your head, right? Because those voices in your head aren't necessarily all yours and all saying the things that you need to know and the things that you need to desire to move forward. And it's so appropriate to say, I'm not going to listen to you anymore. So this third tool is a tool of this. Where am I going? It's obvious where I'm at. It's obvious where we're at, right? It's so easy to understand the lay of the land of where we're at right now, but where am I going is such a better question to ask. So the three tools we have for you today is the first one, what's the truth? The truth is, wherever you're at in your health journey, you're healthy right now. This day isn't the worst day, nor could it be the best day of your life. This day is just a day. And the truth is that death isn't waiting on the other side of the door. And potentially a virus isn't waiting on the other side of the door. But what could be waiting there are the good and great and amazing things in your life. The truth is, tomorrow is a day that could be amazing. And the vast majority of the reason why it's going to be amazing is your perspective walking into it, your understanding of, hey, the truth is, there's good out there as well, there's light out there as well, there's hope out there as well, there's provision out there as well, there's opportunity out there as well. There's great and good things out there as well. And maybe I'll go for those and stand in that truth. The second one is, what do you know? In taking this assessment of who you are and where your life is at, what do you know? And it's really an assessment of what do I have at my disposal right now that I can use to move my life forward. Not what I know about statistics and about the virus and those things, because even if you look at the whole perspective of those pieces of information, if you looked at them in the whole context of the information given, you'd have much more hope than maybe some of us do right now. So what's the truth? What do I know? And the third one, where am I going? Where am I going? Because this moment isn't my whole life, and my whole life, no matter where my life is right now, my whole life won't be summed up in today, but in the whole of the opportunities that I have in my life to give. And Mark, I hope these tools about truth, about knowing, and about where am I going can give you the courage to walk towards what it looks like to walk out our doors, to have these stay-at-home orders lifted and have us walk into this new normal that's our life. Your life has the potential of being amazing, and I am so looking forward to walking in this journey with you. This is Freedom for Life _ Freedom for Life _. If you like what we're doing here, if it's feeding your soul and giving you enrichment and things to move forward, man, would you hit that like button? Subscribe so you get information, all of the tools and truth and knowledge that we have to give so that you can walk out this journey. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you can be aware of every time that we upload more tools and truth and knowledge. I'm so proud of you. I'm glad you're here. We upload every week because we know that this is a journey that we all need to be on consistently. Would you join me in it as we walk in this freedom journey? Have a great day, and we'll see you next time.